Ladies and gentlemen, we have the third ever pay-per-view in this series, Over the Limit 2013. I'm excited. I hope you're all excited. Not the best build-up of the series so far. Obviously, WrestleMania takes the cake, and Extreme Rules is pretty good. But we got some good matches. And, the build-up hasn't been too bad. I've liked the build-up. I felt like maybe it just isn't as overwhelming as some of the other ones are. What's it called? We got some important matches. We have John Cena versus Christian. I quit. Christian loses. His career in WWE is over. It's done with. Bing, bada boom, you're gone. That's probably going to be the main event. Following up with that is the WWE title. It's Kofi Kingston taking on Chris Jericho and The Big Show in a triple threat. We also have Ryback Goldust in a various Intercontinental title rematch again. We have the Tokyo Pimp, Yujiro Takahashi, making his pay-per-view debut, taking on Bray Wyatt for the United States Championship. And trying to think of other matches. We have a couple other matches too. We have KICKOFF. We have the KICKOFF show is the big NXT title match, the 6-pack challenge. Anyway, let's just jump right into the thing. One more thing before again. I'm recording this currently on the 3rd, March 12th, 2019, so if it's later on recording, this is irrelevant. But I just wanted to say, as a little fun fact, Raw's come to my hometown of Chicago, so I'm going to be in the crowd, actually. We're on camera. This is the first time I've been to Raw. I've been to independent shows, and I've been to NXT, both the tapings and the takeovers in Chicago. But I've never been to Raw, so I'm excited, for 3 hours of wanting to bash my head in a wall. But, just kidding. I just thought I'd point that out as a fun little thing. But let's forget all that and let's just jump right into Over the Limit 2013. Alright, so we're at the Gillette Stadium and we have a hype video. We're hyping up Austin Aries, Dean Ambrose, Trent, Rodrick Strong, Derek Bateman, and the current NXT champ Xavier Woods, all going to be in the 6-pack challenge, for the NXT title, and we'll see who wins. And in a 63 match, decent wrestling but not much heat, Xavier Woods defeats Dean Ambrose and the rest of the gang to retain his NXT title after he hit a culture shock on Trent Bareta. Derek Bateman was the weak link, struggling to keep up with everyone's performance. So Austin Aries with the 78, who's doing really good. He actually was complaining he didn't win the match, but, because it's pre-show, I didn't really matter about the ratings, so I just kind of gave him the keep strong. Dean Ambrose with the 70, Xavier Woods with the 69. He's doing really good. Xavier Woods is one of the people that said to keep an eye out for, so, Xavier Woods is Xavier Woods. He might go places. Derek Bateman with the 52, so that's not bad. A lot of improvements. Trent Bareta in technical, Rodrick in flying, Dean and Xavier Woods in performance. So despite the odds put against him, Xavier Woods is somehow able to retain his NXT title for the time being. We'll have to see how that situation goes. I want to put more emphasis on the NXT title, as a mid-card feud. But now we're jumping into the main show. We have the Over the Limit KICKOFF show is Another Way Out by Hollywood Undead. That was actually the theme to Payback 2013. But, I've never been kind of a fan of, Payback. It just was I liked it Over the Limit better. It just, sounds cooler, looks cooler, all that stuff. Just kind of, your basic intro package to modern pay-per-views. You know how that goes. Let's see. And in a first tag team out, we have a tag team title reign, and it's InZayn taking on the Motor City Machines. And 94A, really great way to start the crowd. The Motor City Machines, they beat InZayn. Sabin hitting the Made in Detroit on Kevin Steen. Motor City Machines make defense number 1 of their WWE tag team titles. The battle for the pennies has ended. Kevin Steen, they're both great chemistry, lack of psychology, but with a 94A, can you really complain? I thought this might get into high Bs because of last time, but it's good to see on pay-per-view that Shelley and Sabin really do pack the punch, which is always good. And, Steen and Sammy are just awesome. I want to experiment how they do singles-wise, because, you know, this does kind of help stuff up, because I do have plans, obviously, for them. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. But not for the time being. But, you know, I believe the feud between InZayn and Motor City Machines has finally ended, and we'll have to see who challenges MCM for their tag team titles. And then in another decent match, cooling the crowd down a bit, I believe, brought the fans back. England's Finest defeats the Raw team of Alex Riley, Evan Bourne, and R-Truth when Wade Barrett hits the wasteland on Alex Riley. So England's Finest taking out the 3 teams of the people who they've beaten the crap out of the past couple of months. You know, let's see. I'm trying to feel if there's anything that stands out. Wade Barrett getting a 95 because he's Wade Barrett, and Wade Barrett is awesome. Let's see if there are any improvements. Evan Bourne getting a pretty good rating. Alex Riley and R-Truth, you know, they're upper mid-carders, so it's good to get them some exposure. R-Truth in Rumble and Performance, Alex Riley in Rumble and Tentacle, and Nicholas Magnus is learning in Performance. Nicholas Magnus has come a long way. And I think Doug has kind of been capped due to his age in the mod as of right now, but, you know, still, good to see, you know, England's Finest get a win. But, you know, it's kind of sad to see the baby faces not get the win. You know, you always root for them. But 82B is nothing to shake a stick at. Next up, we have Bray Wyatt making his usual entrance with Luke Harper, Eric Rowan. He's got, you know, their hooded figures and sheet masks, lanterns held high, the fireflies in full force, people waving their phones back and forth. But then, you know, and it's strange because, you know, usually it's like, oh, the champion enters first, he loses, you know. But there's a reason this is happening, because once Yujiro Takahashi comes out, he's strangely by himself until he snaps his fingers like Thanos. And all the people in the sheet masks, they reveal they were part of Yujiro's circle. There's just a bunch of mouths, bunny masks, leather, all the works. And Bray Wyatt's just pissed off. He's like, you know, damn it, I can't escape this man and his weird bunny fetish. But, you know, it's Yujiro Takahashi versus Bray Wyatt, the match you never knew you wanted, but you desperately need. And, you know, we'll have to see if that wins. Can Bray Wyatt retain his title? Can Yujiro pick up the win? And in a decent match, Yujiro actually does it. He beats Bray Wyatt with a spear. Yujiro Takahashi wins the United States Championship. Let's see. Tokyo Pimp seemed off his game. You know, that's kind of sad. Bray Wyatt with a 90. So pretty much Bray Wyatt doing a lot of the carrying work. But, you know, I believe Bray Wyatt's kind of outgrown the U.S. title at this point. He had a great run. You know, he the whole series has been him being awesome. He started at like 70s because he was pretty popular when I started the mod. You know, he was pretty popular, pretty over. But now he's getting like 90s. Also, his time in FCW really benefited. I think he had a couple matches with Regal, so that might have put him up there. The same thing happened with Xavier Woods. But yeah, no, we have a new United States champion in the Tokyo Pimp, Yujiro Takahashi. What a great thing to say. Next up, we have Mark Henry comes to the ring, and he's ranting. Well, he's not in the ring, he's backstage. I should probably change that thing. Pretty much just a menace angle talking about... I selected Drew McIntyre, but, you know, it's him, Drew McIntyre, and Zack Ryder. Sorry. And you gotta figure one of the people... You know, the person who wins this match between SmackDown's pretty main event scene is probably going to be in that number one contender's position. Do you want to be in that position when John Cena is running around with the belt? Although Christian could win the belt. You know, you gotta wonder. You gotta wonder, because even if Christian does win, and he has a good shot of winning, you have to wonder if you want that shot. Because if John Cena lost that belt, think how angry he would be compared to how he is now. But you know, Mark Henry just playing himself over as the world's strongest man. I believe that match is next. And in a good match, 93A, Drew McIntyre picks up the win against Zack Ryder and Mark Henry when Drew hits Mark Henry with a snap double underhook DDT. Sorry, I had to. That was a mouthful. Bleh. But yeah, no, Drew McIntyre picking that win, so that coveted, it's not official #1 contender, but you know, I wouldn't be surprised if Drew McIntyre came up on SmackDown tomorrow and said he has the right to be called the #1 contender. 93A, really great, happy with this match. Drew McIntyre improving. Drew McIntyre getting the least rated out of both of them. You know, it's surprising, but, you know, nonetheless, still pretty good. Zack Ryder sustained a knee damage. I don't know. I just realized he's injured, so hopefully that's not a big deal. Knee damage. We'll have to see how that goes. And in a decent match, calming the crowd, 92A. Wow, really. In a decent match, Ryback defeated Goldust with a suplex power slam. Ryback makes defense number 2 of his WWE Intercontinental title. So Ryback able to pick up the win over Goldust. You know, Ryback, he's got a pretty tight hold of that Intercontinental title. So you got to imagine what's next for Ryback. Who's the next up to stick to Ryback? You know, the champions of SmackDown are looking pretty heelish. So hopefully a conquering babyface comes up and has the ability to do that. So, you know, we'll have to see how that goes. But unfortunately for Goldust, he could not get the title back. Poor Goldust. And next we have an elaborate entrance. Really, a 88B. Randy Orton makes his elaborate entrance for his match against CM Punk here at Over The Limit. You know, the Viper, you know, the story between these two is pretty interesting with The Miz being all, you know, banned from the match. He's given the night off. You know, CM Punk and Randy Orton have had their problems ever since Randy Orton's made his way to Raw. You know, while a babyface, Randy Orton's kind of been a dick to people on Raw. But, you know, you could say the same thing about both Miz and CM Punk. So their match is up next, and we'll see that. And in a 97A, substantial bout. Really happy with this. CM Punk defeated Randy Orton in 20 minutes, 28 seconds via pinfall with a go-to-sleep following interference from The Miz. The Miz comes out, and he costs Randy Orton that match against CM Punk. This isn't a #1 contenders, it's just a grudge match, but still, you know, you shouldn't be doing stuff like that. And, you know, you'll have to see if there's any repercussions for The Miz, because he wasn't banned from ringside. But, you know, when Stone Cold Steve Austin tells you to do something, you probably should listen. And next up we have the, that's supposed to be Beth Phoenix, but, okay. Okay, so this is supposed to be Beth Phoenix, not Madison Lane. I don't know why I made that story. But anyway, we have Stone Cold Steve Austin, you know, Shawn Michaels, Triple H, Mr. McMahon, the businessmen, the GMs, the various businessmen. You see them discussing business. You know, we can't really hear what it's being said, but, you know, vaguely, you know, but you can pretty much assume it's about John Cena. You know, if we can't put John Cena over as a babyface, we'll put him over as a heel in every backstage segment we do, damn it. Damn it. But now, we clearly see, and there's also, we have a segment where we cut back, in which it's Beth Phoenix beating the crap out of AJ Lee. AJ Lee not scheduled to defend the title, the Divas title on the card tonight, but Beth Phoenix beats her down, and she says that she is cashing in that shot at Night of Champions. So hyping up on a pay-per-view match on the pay-per-view. I know it's seen as a no-no, but, you know, it's my WWE universe. I'll do what I want. And we have the WWE title situation up next. Triple threat match. Kofi Kingston, The Big Show, Chris Jericho. There can only be one. Let's see how it goes. And in the 95A, I was really, what's it called? Happy with this. Really happy with this match. But we have Kofi Kingston, Chris Jericho, and The Big Show. Kofi Kingston defeats Chris Jericho and The Big Show when Kofi Kingston beats The Big Show with an SOS. But before that happens, Chris Jericho and The Big Show, they work together the whole match. They're pretty much putting, you know, Kofi Kingston out and about. You know, they're taking every opportunity to take him out. But you have to understand, really, at one point, Jericho offers the pin to The Big Show in a pretty nice gesture. He offers the pin to Big Show when all of a sudden The Big Show just chokeslams Jericho and tries to pin Jericho which allows Kofi Kingston to run up and hit that SOS. So the Jericho has pretty much dissented, while Kofi Kingston has used it to his advantage and gotten away with the title. So 95A, not the best match. You know, it's not 100 A-star, but everything doesn't have to be 100 A-star. Chris Jericho's face turn, it was hinted. I don't know why I can't change that, but it got little reaction. Fans realized that it's not a strong suit. That's a shame, but I am still going to turn him face because, damn it, I'm Mr. McMahon. And the Big Show gimmick is getting stale. We can fix that, but we have the next segment here. We have a hype view of Christian and John Cena, the I Quit match, the main event of the evening. You know, a lot of it is Christian's career spanning the Edge and Christian era. You know, Christian going off by himself, 3 World Heavyweight Championship reigns, the last one being very particularly good, going into WrestleMania, defending it at WrestleMania this year. John Cena's fall from grace at the exact same time almost, and now rebounding to become one of the hottest things in pro wrestling again, but as a dark villain. So you gotta imagine who's gonna win. And the whole match is just a blood feud. I mean, Christian and John Cena, they beat the crap out of each other. Christian, everything to lose, everything to gain. John Cena, just this new... I think the thing to take away with John's new attitude is not, I'm a villain to be a villain, like generic WWE, but just, I want to be the best. And the way to be the best is to just murder everybody in my path. And there's a lot of cool spots. Like, I believe there should probably be, like, there's definitely a lot of tables and ladders and chairs. You know, TLC is iconic. And it is I Quit match, so there's no DQ. You know, maybe, I like to see a kill switch on the chair, an AA on the chair, kill switch from the top rope, AA from the top rope. Each one has a counter to the other. But finally, John Cena, he picks up Christian onto a ladder. And there's a bunch of chairs on the table. And he's about to AA him off. And that's when Christian says the famous words of I quit. And I was kind of hoping for 100, but, you know, like, what can I say? But John Cena, he gets Christian to say I quit. John Cena makes defense number 1 of his World Heavyweight Championship, but at the same time, Christian has been forced to retire. And just for added measure, Christian eventually gets up. The crowd is in shock and silent over what they've just seen. John Cena, you know, he dropped his song and he just walks out afterwards. He's like, you know, I don't need to handle this anymore. He slams his fist on the mat in anger, pure rage that he wasn't able to get the job done. Eventually, tears start to form as he realizes what has occurred. The gravity of the situation. Christian is no longer a WWE superstar. The chants of thank you, Christian, start to ring out. He picks himself up and gives a little bow until John Cena rushes back in and begins to just brutally assault him. John then goes over to the ladder and attitude adjusts him off of it onto the steel steps. Oh, it was steel steps. I forgot if it was table or steel steps. So he does it anyway. Because, you know, I forget who said it. It might have been, I think it was a video of some sort. But it's like every I Quit match ever. John Cena is like, I'm going to do this thing that would hurt. And the guy's like, I quit. I don't want you to do that. And he just does it. So I bet if he does that, might as well be a heel while he does it. And John has that just creepy blank expression, not really giving a shit. And Christian's career ends in a pretty sad way. Yeah. What can you say? Well, I don't know. Christian might be on SmackDown to have one last hurrah. A John Cena-less hurrah, maybe, from all the superstars. But, you know, what can you say? And we're going to end the show, see how we did. 93A, there weren't enough attractive women on the roster. Okay, so there weren't enough women. That's dumb. But, you know, pretty good overall. I was happy with the show. Can't say much about it. Yeah, we've got a lot of great matches that we had. The Yujiro Takahashi Bray Wyatt feud has been my favorite. And I'm loving booking heel John Cena. I want to say thanks to all for us reporting the series. Of course, it's not over. I just like to say that every time because it's really you guys as watching the videos that spurs me on to record. You know, I don't know really what else to say, but I'll catch you guys on the next Monday Night Raw for the fallout of Over the Limit 2013.